Alrighty, so last week we left off with this was finished, fitted, everything's good, all the Zeus fasteners are adjusted. Excuse me, so we're good to go here. Had to rework some of this area and I'm just gonna stop. I'm satisfied with that. The other side was not fitting, had a real issue with this inspection panel right here, and oops, sorry about that. Trying to do this one-handed, left-handed, I'm right-handed. So this Zeus fastener was a half an inch when it came down, wasn't even close. It was fitting way up here. So wound up getting things adjusted. If I adjusted this bracket here, right there, in to adjust that, then that pulled it out of whack here. It's just a mess. So I'll show you in a second what I wound up doing, but everything fits now, everything's adjusted, everything's good. Set this panel down and set it, and so we're good. We look like the other side. Oops, it actually goes inside right there. Like, I had it like that. It does flex just a little bit. It goes inside there to cover. This covers the leading edge of the lower wing. So just like that. And then that's all set and good to go. It's a little bit different than what's originally, but it works. So everything's good. Well, I could probably adjust that, but not sure. Missing this panel, I don't know. In the pictures it showed this was a good panel. This one had a ding on it. Had to straighten that out with hammer and dolly, but I don't know. Let's see if I can find it. It might be around here somewhere. So all that leaves with the fairing and the sheet metal that's left, that panel, excluding that panel. Have to do some patching, but all of it fits now. Except for the trapezoid or the belly pan. Let me raise this up to show you. Just gonna fit from there to there, which is that panel over there. So, having said that, how I fixed, get my pointer out here, this panel to match is I actually had to move that bracket over. It's in the same hole, it's in the same mounting spots, but what I did, if you'll see, you don't see no tabs right there. And with this one right here, there's a tab. That tab was bent the other way, which brought the bracket back this way. So bending the tabs back around and fastening them to the same hole moved the bracket over. So if this was on the inside, so this would have been the outside edge, so that moved the bracket over 5/8 of an inch, maybe half an inch. But when I did that, everything lined up. But what I got to do now is the trapezoid, make sure that I can cover, make sure the gap still covers it, which would be fine from there to there, because I had plenty of room before. Then I'll have to shim the Zeus fasteners out to match the Zeus fasteners. Had to shim the Zeus fastener receivers out to receive the Zeus fastener male part itself. So that's how we fixed it. Took that and moved it over. Didn't change any holes, just moved the bracket over, and which allows all the rest of the panels to align properly. So that wasn't like that before when we originally had it together, and it was a bugger to put it together, but it all goes together now, so the puzzle fits better. So that's it. See ya. Hey everybody, I've been playing airplanes this week, but it's just one of them funny weeks where it doesn't seem like you're getting much done. Doing some stuff, but today, but it's not going to be like a normal week with a lot of, show big results going on here. Got a couple little things happening, but it's going to be, what I'm trying to do is fabricate some seat rail fixtures, brackets, seat rail brackets. Let's go with that one. And out of some heavier material. Had made some out of chrome moly, 4130, 58,000 swall, but Found some DOM with 120 wall, which is a lot more substantial, it's a lot thicker, so I'll quit rattling on here and turn around. And so somewhere in this pile of mess is what's happening. Here are the original ones, and that's cast aluminum. They're, it's pretty substantial. It's cast. It's about 120, something like that. Two-piece. There's the seam for it right there. So there's a rail goes through this way, and then the two seat rails go down that way on them. It sits in the aircraft like that. So I've actually showed this before. I got a upside down picture of it right here, of it on the seat, which is right there. And of course this is inverted, so this is upside down. So, and there's the rail at the short side of it, bolts too. So it's split right there at the seam, right there. Not sure if you can really see that on the camera. That's what's going on. So I made some out of, like I said earlier, with some 58 thousandths wall, which is not all that thick. So I got a hold of some DOM tubing online, which is pretty cool. This stuff right here, and that's 120, so that's pretty thick. So I got one coped out here and put together, and that's what we're going to be doing. I'll do a little video here of it and explain how I did that. Get back to you in a little bit. See you. Okay, took a little break there. Go get a cup of Java. Good stuff. Probably ought to sit over here so I don't spill it. So we were into how do we make this, which is coped here. Let's see, not sure if I can do this on a, this is flat, but it's coped on a 45 here. This has two 45s. Reason for that is the seat rail. This will receive the seat rail to go down to the tube, and then this will bolt to a tube this way. So hopefully that makes sense. I have to put these on the side of it too, to try to make it look like this one here. Also have a gusset to put here. So that's what we're going to do. How did we do that? Out of two dissimilar pieces of pipe. They're two different diameters. So you got to figure that out. So first off, laid out the quadrants on it. On the, I'm not sure if you can actually see that. On the, there, and there. So did that one, the inch one, by taking a piece of paper, getting the dimensions this way, and doing that, and that gave me the circumference of the pipe. Fold it in half, and then fold it in quarters, and then that gives us, fold it in half, and then just fold it in half again, actually, which will give you the 4 lines that you need. 1, 2, 3, and as you wrap it around the pipe, as you wrap it around the pipe, becomes the 4th. That's how we did that. And that's how I was able to come up with the lines there and make quadrant with this one, and also with the 1 1/4. So this is inch, and with the 1 1/4, same thing. Now we have to figure out the cope, which is the notch to put into the pipe so it will sit on here. So we know this is going to sit halfway. The 1 inch, if you look down in it, is going to sit, you see it down here, this is the 1 inch, this is the 1 1/4. So it's going to be going to sit halfway on it. So if this is 1 inch ID, then I want to go back a 1/2 inch. So we go back a 1/2 inch right there, and then we take the 1 1/4 pipe and lay it on the line where we've quartered it, put it on the line. So that'll give us that notch there, and then lay it on the lines here, and it'll give us our other notch. Now that we have the layout for the pipe, put it back on the one that we want to notch. And there we go, we draw our lines, and then we turn this pipe into this notched pipe, and then I put it on the drum sander and sanded it down straight, and then we got our notch. For the inch and a quarter, same thing, did the dimensions, got the circumference of the pipe with the piece of paper, folded it in half again, which gave us our quarters. Now then we know that the inch pipe is going to sit on the inch and a quarter. So the inch and a quarter, we need to go back 5/8 or half of the inch and a quarter, because it's going to cover half of the distance, not the half inch, but half of the circumference of the inch and a quarter. All right, so we lay that out. Then we take this pipe, we lay that line right here across our quadrant on our circumference, but now it's laid out flat. And then we take this pipe, which is going to be coped onto it, and just lay it out like we did previously. Now we have the cope for this, but we only need to cope one end of it, because I'm not coping both sides. We only coped one side. Well, I'm not sure if you can see that down in there. We only coped one side of the inch and a quarter. So that's how we did that. And then just cut it. Don't cut it right on the line. Just cut up to it and sneak up on it, and try to get this joint as tight as you can. Now, I just tacked it and goobered on the MIG welder, because I can MIG, but I can't TIG yet. So I'm going to take the cutoff wheel, grind this down, and grind this down. I just didn't want it to move after I got it together. Because now that I've got this, I'm going to put the gusset on it and just tack it in down there in the corner and at the top, get it squared up and get it lined up so I can create this piece. And then I'm going to have to get a jig. And last time I used 2 pieces of angle iron and then mounted this in it and spaced it, even though it's not this diameter right there, so it'll actually so this actually is 1 1/4 inches long. But I used some spacers above and below, centered it on here, made it parallel, clamped it in a jig, and then just tacked it. So, and then it was able to be welded in, and then you got to cut it in half. So that's how we did that, and that's how I'm going to proceed from here. So I'm going to get to getting. I got to make another one of these, and I've got all the rest of it fabricated here, which was out of this tubing, is what these were made for the clamp hardware to go into, which will actually, this was the 58 thousandths wall, this stuff right here. So that's it, and that should wind it up. I don't know, we'll see. Tomorrow's Fun Film Friday, try to get this loaded up and be done with it. So for the week, see you later. Okay, let me get another shot of juice here. Ooh, that's good. Good stuff. So here's what we did, what I did, and what hopefully you're watching. Took the pipe layout or the cope layout for the 1 1/4 and laid that one out. Cut the pipe. Didn't just cut a V in it. I mean, we actually cut a notch out of it. Same thing for the inch, and it gets 2, not just the 1. So laid our pipe layout for it on the paper, transferred it to the pipe, cut them out, and now here's what we got. Notice I left the line on there because, and I should have took it off, but I didn't because I want to sneak up on it. So this 1 inch should be half of it. That's off about the width of the line itself, so we want to go down to there. Sets right there. I got a heck of a gap right there, which is no good. And on the other side, it's going to set right there also. So what I need to do is just sneak up on it, and I will just take off Just a little bit here and a little bit there, and that will eventually just keep sneaking up on it. And like this one, your line will come down, and then you'll meet down on where your saddle's at, and you'll have it nice and tight and right where your joint's at for your TIG weld. So be back in a minute. Okay, so at this point, all we're doing is trying to make our gap tight, right and tight. So we're just sneaking up on it. We'll just take a little bit off of here and a little bit off of there. Same on the other side. But our pipe is positioned correctly, so we just need to close this gap up. So we're just gonna take some off right there, and I'll be right back. We'll take it over to the orbital sander, and I'll see if I can remember to drop a picture on that and show you what I'm talking about. Be back in a bit. And once again, it's a little bit tighter, so we'll just take off a little bit more. And on the other side, we may hit the 1.25 inch pipe too, just bump it up against it, and we'll just keep sneaking up to it till we get there. So we're positioned about right, and be back in a minute. Okay, so here we go. We're nice and tight and right in the coping part there. This tube sits halfway over it. It won't match perfect because this is 1.25 inch. But that's about the best joint that I can come up with using the hand tools we got. This is my right angle magnetic welding holder, which is a real handy tool. Use tape measure, some tape, and that's about it. So I'll get this tacked together, get to this point with it, get it cut down, and clean up the edges, and we'll go from there. So that's all I did, was just lay it out with the pipe layout here, and then just snuck up on it with the orbital sander. And once again, I'll drop a picture in there, and that's it. See you in a bit. Okay, back again. I'll show you how I got these bolt or fastener guides. This will get cut in half, like that line right there. And well, actually this one goes, so yep, like that right, that one. So that'll get cut in half. But how do you hold that in place? Square, plumb, level with the world, and I'll show you right here how I did it. Is made this little fixture here, a couple pieces of angle iron, and it's adjustable, so go back and forth. Put my pieces in there, equidistant them with some washers, so spaced them out. Notched just one side to accommodate the tube right there, so it'll go through. And the reason why I did that is so it will be halfway the tube. So I'll just go tack this up and done with that. So be back in a bit. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week. See ya.